VietDak Group in the modern tea value chain, from market context to harvesting, production, commercialization, and export of leaf tea, white tea, black tea, and oolong tea. Tea is one of the oldest agricultural commodities in human history and also one of the products with the widest cultural influence worldwide. From Asia, where the tea plant was domesticated and developed into diverse tea cultures, to Europe, North America, and the Middle East, tea is not merely a beverage but a symbol of lifestyle, identity, and international trade. In the current context of globalization, the global tea industry is undergoing transformation driven by several key trends, including the shift toward high-quality consumption, traceability, sustainability, the growth of specialty and organic teas, and the restructuring of supply chains toward higher value-added products rather than raw exports. At the international level, the tea market is increasingly segmented between mass market and premium categories. While the former competes primarily on volume, cost, and distribution efficiency, the latter emphasizes origin, cultivation techniques, processing methods, whether artisanal or semi-industrial, and the cultural narrative embedded in the product. As a result, countries with diverse ecosystems, high-altitude regions, favorable soil conditions, and long-standing tea traditions possess significant advantages in building strong specialty tea brands. In this context, Vietnam holds a particularly favorable position. As a tropical monsoon country with extensive highland and midland regions, Vietnam offers diverse ecological zones suitable for tea cultivation, from cool mountainous areas to highlands with significant diurnal temperature variation. In addition to natural advantages, Vietnam has a rich tea culture, ranging from traditional green tea to modern processed varieties such as oolong, black tea, white tea, and specialty teas derived from ancient tea trees. However, for a long period, Vietnam's tea industry has primarily been recognized internationally as a supplier of raw materials or semi-processed products with relatively low added value. The key challenge lies not in production capacity, but in quality upgrading, process standardization, brand building, and deep market development. Within this broader context, VietDak Group positions itself as a modern tea enterprise, pursuing an integrated development model from raw material regions to deep processing, commercialization, and sustainable export. By placing quality at the core and leveraging technological processes alongside brand identity, VietDak does not merely participate in the market as a producer, but acts as a value creator for Vietnamese tea on the global stage. VietDak's product portfolio reflects the essential segments of the contemporary tea industry. Leaf tea represents the traditional category, emphasizing purity, everyday usability, and local identity. White tea occupies the premium segment, characterized by minimal processing and the preservation of the natural delicacy of tea buds. Black tea demonstrates advanced processing capability through controlled oxidation, targeting consumers who prefer strong flavor profiles, sweetness, and mature aromas. Meanwhile, oolong tea represents technical sophistication, requiring precise control of withering, shaking, partial oxidation, and drying to achieve a balanced, refined, and complex flavor profile. From a market perspective, VietDak's simultaneous development of these four tea categories reflects a comprehensive strategy that maintains a foundation in traditional consumption while expanding into premium gifting, specialty tea appreciation, and high-value export markets. In the tea production chain, harvesting is the foundational step that determines the overall quality of the final product. At VietDak, harvesting is not simply about timing, but also about adhering to strict technical standards tailored to each tea category. For leaf tea, raw materials are harvested based on maturity standards, typically involving mature leaves or buds combined with young leaves, depending on product orientation. The objective is to maintain natural flavor, body, and brewing consistency. Uniformity is essential, and defective leaves, such as overaged, pest-damaged, or mechanically bruised leaves, must be avoided, as early damage can negatively impact subsequent processing stages. For white tea, harvesting requirements are significantly stricter. The ideal material consists of tender buds or one bud with one young leaf, harvested in the early morning when temperatures are mild. As white tea undergoes minimal processing, the inherent qualities of the raw material are almost entirely preserved in the final product. Therefore, careful selection, gentle handling, and rapid transportation to processing facilities are critical. For black tea, the raw material must have an optimal balance of maturity to ensure sufficient polyphenol content for full oxidation while still allowing the development of sweetness and aroma. Leaves must be fresh, clean, and processed quickly to prevent uncontrolled fermentation. Oolong tea requires the highest level of uniformity in leaf maturity and growing conditions. The leaves must reach a specific physiological stage to ensure flexibility and the presence of aroma precursors necessary for the complex processes of withering, shaking, and partial oxidation. Thus, for VietDak, harvesting is not merely the collection of raw materials but the initial stage of quality design, where a significant portion of the final product's characteristics is already determined. Following harvesting, the raw material enters processing workflows that differ depending on the tea type. For leaf tea, processing focuses on preserving the natural integrity of the leaves. The leaves undergo light withering to reduce surface moisture, followed by heat treatment to deactivate oxidative enzymes. Rolling or shaping is then applied as needed, and the tea is dried to a safe moisture level. The result is a product with clear liquor, distinct flavor, and a pure aroma suitable for daily consumption. White tea production follows a minimalist approach. The leaves are naturally or semi-naturally withered under controlled conditions, allowing gradual moisture loss and biochemical transformation. Unlike green or leaf tea, white tea does not undergo strong enzyme deactivation or intensive rolling. This minimal intervention preserves its delicate appearance, light liquor, soft taste, and subtle aroma. However, this simplicity demands strict control of environmental factors such as temperature, humidity, airflow, and time to prevent spoilage or undesirable fermentation. Black tea processing centers on controlled full oxidation. After withering, the leaves are rolled to break cellular structures, enabling enzymatic interaction with polyphenols. The oxidation stage determines color, aroma, and body. Once the desired level is reached, drying halts the oxidation process and stabilizes the product. High-quality black tea should exhibit a bright amber to reddish-brown liquor, a mature aroma, and a smooth, sweet aftertaste. Oolong tea represents the pinnacle of processing precision. Its production involves multiple stages, including sun withering, indoor withering, repeated shaking, partial oxidation, enzyme deactivation, shaping, and multi-stage drying. The goal is to achieve harmony between floral aroma, sweetness, clarity, and leaf structure. Even minor deviations in timing or temperature can compromise the final product, making oolong tea a true test of technical expertise. From a scientific perspective, each tea type is not merely a variation in naming but a distinct technological pathway. Mastery of these processes enables VietDak to transform agricultural raw materials into high-value commercial products. In modern markets, production alone is insufficient. Commercialization determines long-term success. VietDak's approach goes beyond distribution, aiming to build a comprehensive tea consumption ecosystem. Domestically, leaf tea serves as a staple product aligned with traditional consumption habits and enjoys broad distribution channels. White tea and oolong tea cater to more selective consumers, including health-conscious individuals, premium gift markets, and tea connoisseurs. Black tea offers flexibility for modern applications such as machine brewing, high-end milk tea, cold brewing, and beverage blending. A key aspect of VietDak's commercialization strategy is transforming tea from a basic commodity into a product with a compelling narrative. This narrative may include origin, climate, altitude, harvesting techniques, processing methods, and cultural identity. In the modern economy, added value arises not only from physical attributes but also from the meaning attached to the product. Export represents a strategic direction for VietDak in integrating into the global tea value chain. However, Modern tea export is no longer about volume alone. It requires brand identity, segmentation, and market positioning. VietDak's diverse product portfolio allows it to access multiple international market segments. Leaf tea fits markets requiring stable, affordable traditional products. Black tea appeals to consumers seeking strong flavors and versatile applications. White tea and Oolong tea target premium markets focused on experience, wellness, gifting, and tea culture. To achieve sustainable export growth, VietDak must continue investing in key pillars, including standardized raw material regions, residue control, food safety, traceability systems, market-appropriate packaging, global brand storytelling, and consistent quality across batches. When these conditions are met, VietDak's tea can compete not only on price but on identity and reputation. At a strategic level, export also drives internal upgrading. Meeting international standards compels improvements across agriculture, processing, packaging, logistics, and brand management. Thus, export is not merely an output channel but a catalyst for overall organizational advancement. In conclusion, VietDak's development reflects the broader transformation of Vietnam's tea industry, from raw material production to value creation. From traditional leaf tea to refined white tea, robust black tea, and technically sophisticated oolong tea, each product represents both a technological achievement and a strategic vision. In an increasingly competitive global market, the ability to build a complete, distinctive, and adaptive tea value chain will determine VietDak's position both domestically and internationally.